Hey there, Senior Green Thumbs. I know exactly what you're thinking right now. It's the end of July. I missed my chance for a beautiful flower garden this year. Well, let me stop you right there, because that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, I'm about to share a secret that most gardeners don't know. Late July is actually one of the best times to plant flowers. Not only are you going to get gorgeous blooms, but these flowers are going to perform better than if you had planted them in spring. No more watching your early plantings struggle through the summer heat and humidity. Today I'm sharing 8 incredibly easy flowers that you can plant right now, and I mean this week, that will give you stunning colors straight through fall, sometimes even into November. These aren't finicky, high-maintenance flowers. These are the workhorses of the flower world. Perfect for those of us who want maximum beauty with minimum fuss. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let me show you why late July planting might just become your new favorite gardening strategy. Zinnia segment. Let's start with my absolute #1 recommendation for late July planting, zinnias. Now I've been growing zinnias for over 30 years, and I can tell you with complete confidence that there is no easier flower to grow. None. Here's what makes them perfect for planting right now. Zinnias actually hate cool, wet conditions. Those beautiful zinnias you see in magazines that were planted in May, half of them probably died from fungal diseases in June. But plant them now, in the heat of summer, and they absolutely thrive. You have two options here, and both work beautifully. First, you can still direct seed zinnias right into the ground or into containers. The soil is warm, germination happens quickly, usually within 5 to 7 days, and you'll have blooms in about 6 to 8 weeks. That means gorgeous flowers in September that will last until your first hard frost. But if you want instant gratification, and honestly, who doesn't, head to your local garden center and look for zinnia transplants. They might not have the huge selection they had in spring, but what they do have will be perfect. Plant those transplants this week, and you'll literally have blooms within 10 days. Now here's the variety secret I've learned over the years. Look for anything in the State Fair mixes if you're going with seeds, or the Profusion series if you're buying transplants. These varieties are practically bulletproof. They handle heat, they handle some drought, they resist diseases, and they bloom their hearts out. The best part about zinnias, they're what I call plant and forget flowers. Give them decent soil, doesn't have to be perfect, full sun, and water them when you plant them. After that, Mother Nature can pretty much take over. They're incredibly drought tolerant once established, and they actually bloom better with a little neglect. Marigolds segment. Next up, we have marigolds, and I want to dispel a myth right away. So many people think marigolds are boring or old-fashioned. Let me tell you, there's nothing boring about a flower that blooms for 4 straight months with practically no care from you. Late July is absolutely perfect for marigolds, because they're going to give you what I call the second season bloom. While everyone else's spring-planted marigolds are looking tired and stressed from the summer heat, your fresh July plantings are going to be vibrant and full of energy. Head to the garden center and look for French marigolds. These are the smaller, more compact ones, usually in the Bonanza or Hero series. Avoid the giant African marigolds for now. They need more time to establish. The French varieties will be blooming within a week of planting, and will give you continuous color until frost. Here's something most people don't realize about marigolds. They actually prefer to be a little stressed. I know that sounds crazy, but overwatering and over-fertilizing makes them grow lots of leaves and fewer flowers. Plant them, water them, and well, and then let them dry out between waterings. They'll reward you with more blooms than you can count. And here's a bonus that makes marigolds even more valuable. They're natural pest deterrents. Plant them near your vegetable garden, and they'll help keep aphids, whiteflies, and even some nematodes away from your tomatoes and peppers. It's like getting a pest control system and a beautiful flower in one package. The colors available now are just stunning, from deep burgundy to bright orange to creamy yellow. Mix them in containers, use them as borders, or just scatter them throughout your garden beds. They're going to work overtime for you. Sunflower segment. Now when I say sunflowers, I know many of you are thinking about those giant 8-foot-tall monsters that take up half your garden. But I'm talking about something completely different, dwarf sunflowers that are absolutely perfect for late summer planting. These compact varieties grow just 2 to 3 feet tall. They're perfect for containers. And here's the beautiful thing: planted now, They'll bloom in September and October when the light is absolutely gorgeous for photography and the temperatures are perfect for enjoying your garden. Look for varieties like Teddy Bear, which has fluffy, double blooms, or Piscino, which gives you classic sunflower faces on compact plants. These varieties mature in just 55 to 60 days, which is perfect for our late July timing. You can direct seed these right into containers or garden beds. The soil is warm, so germination is fast and reliable. Plant them anywhere from 6 inches to a foot apart, depending on the variety. Water them in well, and then they're remarkably drought tolerant once established. Here's what I love about late planted sunflowers. The cooler fall weather means the blooms last much longer than spring planted ones. Instead of the flowers fading quickly in intense summer heat, your fall sunflowers will hold their color and form for weeks. And if you choose the right varieties, you'll get continuous blooms, not just one big flush. Some of the branching types will give you dozens of smaller flowers over a long period, which is perfect for cutting and bringing indoors. Don't forget, sunflowers are fantastic for wildlife too. The birds absolutely love the seeds, so you're creating habitat while beautifying your space. Cosmos segment. Cosmos are like the ballerinas of the flower world, delicate, graceful, and they dance beautifully in even the slightest breeze. But don't let their delicate appearance fool you. These are tough, reliable flowers that are perfect for late July planting. Here's why Cosmos works so well for late summer planting. They actually prefer cooler weather for their best blooming. Those early spring plantings often struggle in intense summer heat, but your late July Cosmos are going to hit their stride in September and October when the temperature's moderate. Now for late July planting, I recommend starting with transplants rather than seeds, simply because you'll get blooms faster. Look for the Sensation Mixer Cosmic series at your garden center. These will be blooming within 2 to 3 weeks of planting. Here's the Cosmos secret that most gardeners don't know. Poor soil is actually better for Cosmos. I know that sounds backwards. We're always told to improve our soil, but rich, fertile soil makes Cosmos grow tall and leafy with fewer flowers. Plant them in your regular garden soil, don't fertilize them, and they'll bloom their heart. Cosmos are perfect for that cottage garden look that's so popular right now. They self-seed readily, so plant them once and you'll likely have Cosmos popping up on their own for years to come. They come in beautiful shades of pink, white, and burgundy, and they're fantastic for cutting. The other thing I love about Cosmos is how they fill space. If you have an area that looks a little bare or unfinished, Cosmos will fill it in quickly and give you that full, abundant look that makes a garden feel established and mature. Nasturtiums segment. Nasturtiums are one of my absolute favorite flowers for so many reasons, and late July is actually ideal timing for them because they hate hot weather. They much prefer the cooler days that are coming in August and September. These are edible flowers, which makes them doubly valuable. The leaves have a peppery watercress-like flavor, and the flowers are beautiful in salads or as garnishes. But even if you never eat them, they're stunning in containers where they'll cascade over the edges, or as ground cover in gardens. Here's the nasturtium trick. They grow best in poor soil with no fertilizer. Rich soil makes them produce lots of leaves and very few flowers. I actually plant mine in some of the worst spots in my garden, areas with clay soil or spots that get stressed, and they outperform everything else. You can still direct seed nasturtiums now. Soak the seeds overnight in warm water, then plant them directly where you want them to grow. They don't like to be transplanted, so direct seeding is actually better than transplants for nasturtiums. The color range is fantastic, from creamy yellow to deep orange to burgundy red. Some varieties are compact and bushy, others are trailing and perfect for hanging baskets. The variety Alaska Mixes has beautiful variegated foliage that's almost as ornamental as the flowers. One of the things I love most about nasturtiums is how quickly they grow. From seed to bloom is only about 6 to 8 weeks, so your late July plantings will be gorgeous in September. And they'll keep blooming until frost, often looking better in fall than they did in summer. Porchilaca segment. If you have containers in full sun, and I mean blazing all-day sun where other plants just give up, Porchilaca is your answer. These succulent flowers are also called moss rose, and they're absolutely perfect for late July planting in hot, sunny spots. Porchilaca flowers open in the morning sun and close in the afternoon, but when they're open, they're just jewel-like. The colors are incredible: bright pink, orange, yellow, white, and red. They look almost like tiny roses, and they cover the plants completely. For late July planting, I recommend buying small transplants rather than trying to start from seed. The transplants will fill your containers quickly and be blooming within days. Plant them in well-draining soil. They actually prefer sandy or poor soil over rich organic soil. Here's what makes Porchilaca perfect for busy gardeners. They need almost no water once established. I'm talking about watering maybe once a week, even in hot weather. They store water in their succulent leaves and stems, so they're incredibly drought tolerant. They're perfect for those challenging container spots. Maybe you have containers on a deck that gets intense afternoon sun, or planters in a courtyard, where the heat reflects off pavement. This is where Portulaca shines while everything else wilts. Vinca segment, Vinca also called Madagascar periwinkle, is what I call the bulletproof flower. I have never seen a flower that's more tolerant of heat, humidity, and neglect than Vinca, and late July is absolutely perfect for planting them. Walk into any garden center right now, and you'll find beautiful Vinca transplants in full bloom. The Cora series and Titan series are particularly good. They have large flowers, compact growth, and they bloom continuously without any deadheading required. Here's what makes Vinca so special. While everything else in your garden might be looking stressed from summer heat, Vinca will be blooming its heart out. The hotter it gets, the better they seem to perform. They handle drought, they handle humidity, they even handle some flooding if you overwater them accidentally. The color range has really expanded in recent years. You'll find white, pink, red, purple, and beautiful bicolors. They work perfectly in containers, as bedding plants, or mixed with other heat-loving flowers. Plant them now, and they'll bloom continuously until frost. No deadheading, no special fertilizing, just constant color. They're perfect for those spots in your garden that are just too hot and sunny for most flowers. Solosia segment. Our final flower is Celosia, and these are some of the most unique and striking flowers you can grow. They come in wild, almost Dr. Seuss-like shapes. Some look like velvet brain coral, others like colorful feather plumes. Kids absolutely love them, but they're sophisticated enough for the most elegant garden. For late July planting, look for transplants in the plumosa or feathered type rather than the coxcomb type. The feathered varieties are more heat tolerant and have a longer bloom period. The Fresh Look series is particularly good for late planting. Solosia are incredibly drought tolerant once established, and they love heat. The hotter it gets, the more vibrant their colors become. You'll find them in brilliant reds, oranges, yellows, and even some stunning burgundy varieties. One of the best things about Celosia is how long the flowers last. We're talking about months of continuous bloom, and the flowers hold their color beautifully. They're also fantastic for cutting and drying. You can harvest them for winter arrangements that will last for months. Plant them in containers or garden beds with good drainage. Give them full sun and prepare to be amazed by their performance through fall. Now, before we wrap up, I want to share my top secrets for successful late July flower planting. These tips will make the difference between okay results and absolutely spectacular results. First, let's talk about the container advantage. This time of year I actually prefer planting in containers over planting directly in gardens. Why? Because you have so much more control. You can move containers to catch morning sun but avoid brutal afternoon heat if needed. You can water more precisely. Containers dry out faster so you know exactly when they need water, and there's no weeding required, which means less maintenance for you. When you're choosing containers, bigger is almost always better for late July planting. Small containers dry out too quickly in summer heat, which means you'll be watering constantly. Go for containers that hold at least 2 to 3 gallons of soil. They'll be much more forgiving. Second tip, this is the time to choose transplants over seeds for most flowers. Now, I mentioned that zinnias and sunflowers are exceptions. Their seeds germinate so quickly in warm soil that they're still a great choice. But for everything else, transplants are going to give you instant gratification and a full season of bloom. When you're shopping for transplants, don't be afraid of plants that are already blooming in their containers. Some gardeners think you should only buy plants that aren't flowering yet, but that's old thinking. A plant that's already blooming is telling you it's healthy and ready to perform. Just make sure to keep them well watered during the first week after planting. Third, let's talk about watering, because this is where I see the most mistakes. Deep, less frequent watering is the key to success with late summer plantings. Instead of light daily watering, which encourages shallow roots, water thoroughly every 2 to 3 days. You want the water to penetrate deeply into the soil, encouraging the roots to grow down where they'll find consistent moisture. Here's how to tell if you're watering correctly. Stick your finger 2 inches down into the soil. If it's dry at that depth, it's time to water. If it's still moist, wait another day or two. Fourth tip, don't forget about mulch, even in containers. A thin layer of mulch, maybe an inch thick, will help retain moisture and keep the roots cooler. You can use shredded bark, straw, or even decorative pebbles in containers. And finally, here's my best piece of advice for late season planting. Embrace the imperfect garden. Your late July plantings might not fill in as completely as spring plantings would have, and that's perfectly fine. Sometimes a slightly less dense planting actually looks more natural and relaxed. Plus, you're going to get that beautiful fall light filtering through your flowers, which creates magic that spring gardens never achieve. So there you have it, 8 fantastic flowers that prove it's never too late in the season for a beautiful garden. These late July plantings are going to give you something that spring gardens can't, that gorgeous autumn light filtering through flowers that are at their absolute peak. I want you to think about this differently than you might have before. Instead of feeling like you missed the boat on flower gardening this year, realize that you're actually planting at one of the best possible times. Your flowers are going to avoid all that midsummer stress, they're going to establish quickly in the warm soil, and they're going to give you months of color when you'll actually want to be outside enjoying your garden. The weather's going to start getting more comfortable for gardening soon, which means you'll actually be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor instead of just glimpsing them through the window while you hide inside from the heat. So this week, and I mean this week, get yourself to the garden center, pick up some of these fantastic flowers, and give yourself the gift of a beautiful fall garden. You deserve to have flowers that make you smile every time you look outside. What's your favorite late season flower? I'd love to hear about your successes with late summer planting. Drop a comment below and let me know how these suggestions work out for you. And if you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe because I've got lots more practical gardening tips coming your way. Until next time, keep those green thumbs growing, and remember, in gardening it's never too late to start something beautiful.